So, we're on our way to the mountain that is right behind our house, because earlier this summer I discovered that one of the first flat grounds up there is like full of wild berries, and so I thought that it would be a nice idea today to bring you along and to pick berries together and to give you a little update on how life has been lately. And also because many of you have been following our house buying adventures, and so we've moved forward a bit, so I thought I'd give you a little heads up about that. But first, there's approximately 1.5 kilometers fully uphill during which I'm not gonna be able to talk that much, I think. But yeah, it's a beautiful autumn day. Well, beginning of autumn. We're very early September right now, and it's way hotter than what I expected. So we'll see, because there's quite a lot of wind. So we'll see how is everything up there. That's our first spot we usually stop at during our uphill hike, because it's basically the only place there's proper water for them to drink before reaching the river up there. I don't even know if you can see, but there's lying up just in the hole there, laying down in the water, getting a bit of freshness. And it's been quite a chaotic time and a chaotic morning already, so I don't know, I packed everything and I just forgot to take something to drink. I don't know, there are days like these. Hopefully the river up there has some very good and fresh water, so I'll just drink a bit up there. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a simpler video today, because I've been stressing quite a lot, I think, for the past 2 or 3 videos I've released. Like being afraid of not having inspiration, which obviously led to not having any inspiration, kind of paralyzing my creativity. And I ended up kind of putting these videos together last minute, or at least what feels like last minute for me. And yeah, I don't know, I felt like I wanted to try to do something a bit more chilled for this one, just bringing you along on an afternoon in the mountains. And you have to keep your fingers crossed with me, because when I spotted those, well, mostly blueberries up there, it was a few weeks ago, I'd say. So I really hope that they're still there and just at the right stage of maturity for me to pick them. So we'll see. And the other reason that I don't have many like too high standards for this video is that something like three nights ago I kind of twisted my back while sleeping. I honestly don't know still how it could happen. But I don't know, I was just rolling on the side and the pain woke me up, and it was like that nasty acute pain from the middle of my back up to my neck. And so I don't really know what time it was, but I was like, okay, I'm not gonna move anymore. And I hesitated on waking Yoann up, but I was like, anyway, like right now I can't move at all, so it's not really worth it. So I waited a bit that it kind of lowered in intensity, and eventually the morning came and we managed to get me up, put some balm on it, and yeah, it's gotten better, but still not really, like, yeah, it's not perfect yet. So I tried to get a backpack as light as I could today, and hopefully it won't be too much. These blueberries will be so well deserved. We made it. Not without sweat and a bit of pain, I must say. But we're up the first plateau, so I have to show you the view over the mountains. It's so beautiful. Look at this. And now, next stop is the river so that the dog can get a bit of fresh water and so that I can drink a little bit too. I think that we're not too late. Look at these. So cool. I don't know if you can see with this one. Look at those. That's so cool. The taste. Oh my goodness. They're just so good. I think I'm perfectly right on time. So cool. But once you get on the other side of the river, because it's a bit less close from the like hiking path where the ATV comes up, because there are a few cabins up there. You might think that it's a bit dangerous to drink the water straight from the river like this, and to some extent it might be. Like, maybe there's a reindeer corpse up the river that has been like rotting there for 3 weeks, I don't know, and well, that can happen. But other than that, the advantage of being so far north is that we don't have as many nasty bacteria as we've had, for example, in Switzerland or in Central Europe. I can say that I'm pretty safe drinking this water because there's basically nothing but the mountains and the wildlife here. Venez ici! Line après tour! Oui! C'est un brave chien! I think we're gonna stop there. Just the sound of the wind of the river down there. That's gonna be perfect. A nice Monday afternoon. I think I'm just gonna drop my things here and we'll start picking and updating you on the house buying process. So the other day when I discovered this place, I bought one of these that Nordic people are very fond of to pick berries, but I'm not sure I'm gonna use it because it somehow like hurts the plants a little bit. But of course, like you go much quicker with these than by picking by hand. But I think I'm gonna start by hand and we'll see. Look at these. Oh my goodness, that's so cool. So, to give you a little update on where we're at with the house. So, as you have seen in some past videos, we've made a bunch of visits in different areas around where we live. I think the furthest we went was something like 2.5 hour drive, something like that. And so mostly it was to compare and to kind of evaluate if the house we're currently renting and that is for sale is well placed in the market, in the housing market. And our conclusion is that it is. So the price of the house we're currently renting for sale is 1,700,000 Norwegian crown. And it's from 1984, like the year it was built. And around these prices, we actually saw that basically all the houses were older. And the problem that came with that was that they would have moisture problem in the base, like in the basement and in the foundations, in the walls, which is something very tricky to go with, especially as it's gonna be the first house we're buying with Yoann. So we really, like, after discussing, because there were some really nice opportunities. Tu veux? Tu manges? Attends. Non, non, pas les miennes. Tu veux une petite? Hey! On aime ça! Yeah! I think they've discovered that they can eat blueberries. We saw that the like all settings given, so the price, the year, the condition of the house, because we got it evaluated also to know if it was like in good shape, and because even if we've been living in it for a year, like we were still afraid, like none of us is really a pro of the construction work, etc. So we just wanted a professional to evaluate the house and just confirm that everything was fine with it, basically. And so the major thing that there is to do is the roof that will need some renovation. Well, will need to be done again, I guess. But it's not an emergency in the sense that it's not filled with holes and we don't have water infiltration yet. But it starts rusting a little bit, so probably next summer we'll need to do it. So yes, we might have to do the roof next year because we've decided to buy the house we're renting. So that was the info that you were lacking, because the last video I posted about it, we hadn't made our choice yet, even if lots of you kind of, I guess, spotted before the decision was taken that we kind of had the sweet spot for for this house, and I think the main reason is just that because that's just at our doorstep, and even if not everything is perfect, I think that both for Yoann, who loves to go skiing in winter, and for me, who's every day, not all day, but almost out with the dogs. It's so important for me to have some... Yay! Yes, we like the mountains, of course. Yeah, it's so important for me to be able to just leave the house on foot and have really nice walks and hikes, and being able to just live in the mountain and just meet the peace that is here. So so that was a big first step, deciding that we were not moving again after a year coming here in Norway. Even if I earn enough money for the loan to be granted by the bank here, their system won't agree to give me the loan, kind of, as long as I don't have my last tax declaration in their system. And for that to happen, I do need to have my tax return back from the States. So last year, 2023, was my first year here, registered, and having also started my self-employed business. And so I filled in my tax report, kind of, during the spring. And the thing is that as it's the first one, I had to do it on paper. Whereas usually people do it online. Like once you've done the first tax return, then you do everything online. So that's very handy. But as for me, it was the first one, then I needed to do it on paper. And I'm pretty sure that it's also why it's taking so much time for them to just validate the amounts and just tell me how much I earn the state. And so as long as the state hasn't validated and sends me my tax return back, then the bank won't have it in their system, and so they won't grant me the loan. I'm not able to have the money yet. And obviously it's an administration as in any other country, so it takes time, and no matter what you can tell them, no matter the emergency, then they just don't really care, and you get your thing when you get your things, like when they've decided that it was time for you to get it. And so as of today, so early September, I still haven't received my tax return. Which means that the landlord, so the seller of our house, is still very kindly waiting for me to receive it. And so even if I haven't it yet, we're gonna place what is called a conditional bid. So we're just gonna say this is the price we offer. There will be just one condition to this bid, is that it's gonna be valid if and only if I get the loan, if everything goes through with the finances and with the bank. So basically, if I get the loan, then I will be I will have the obligation to buy this house. And it also protects me in the case if anything goes wrong with the bank, the bid will just be invalidated. So yeah. That's a lot. That has been a lot to handle, but honestly, it's been really It's been really nice to just settle on a decision. I try to go on the other side because there are not as many patches as I thought here. Hey, I think we do have to follow Nana because she's got a good lead. Where are the blueberries? Hey! He wants to steal my blueberries. He doesn't want to go through the pain of picking them himself. C'est non, hein, Lolo? Tu fais pas lui, non? Allez, pousse, pousse. Tu veux? These are another type of berries, so they're called crowberries, from what I've seen. They have these little, almost pine-like needles. And from what I've checked, they're edible. They don't have much taste, though. And they're pretty crunchy because they have like some seeds in them that made them pretty crunchy. But yeah, I'm not gonna pick that today. That's another update. So but Nana had to go through surgery again because I spotted a new lump that she had on one of her paws, like one of her legs actually. And so we went to the vet again and we got the lump tested and it was cancer again. It was a sarcoma once again. So the same thing as we got removed in February earlier this year. So we got that one removed, and she had two other lumps that we weren't really sure about. Like one of the two was almost surely fat, but there was another one we were not really sure about. So as she had to go through the anesthesia again, through the surgery, etc., we decided to remove the three of them at once. So she got through that. Hopefully, like happily, it was much easier than the one we had to remove in February, because they were much smaller, and so the stitches and the scars were much smaller too, and so the recovery was so much quicker and so less painful for her. So that was really a relief, because I don't really think I had the nerves to go through another complicated surgery. I think it would have been very complicated for me. So yeah, now she's back on her legs, she's fine, and hopefully it won't start again. He's waiting for me to pick them to eat them from my hand, even though he's got plenty. Yeah, you can eat those. No, these are mine. These are mine, yes. And so to stay on the topic of the dogs, Lineup has had also his fair share of problems, and it's not over yet. Like, he's been super uncomfortable with his anus. Like, he's been licking himself so much, like so much. It's basically non-stop for the whole day. Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Tu fais quoi? Non, c'est pas pour toi. So yeah, we've been to the vet, like I think he's been checked something like four times already, and they're just not able to know what it is. The last hypothesis was that it was like some kind of allergy, maybe to the food I was giving him. Like I always take the same brand of food for them, but I may have tried another mix or something, and it might have been that. But to relieve him from the symptoms and to see if it was really an allergy, he got a treatment of cortisone. So he had something like 10 days of this, which we ended something like a week ago, and it didn't do anything. So that worries me a bit, because if it was an allergy, then like we would have known at least where to start with the food, and then trying to, change some other things and see if there was something in the environment that was bothering him. As the cortisone didn't have any effects, then I suppose I have to get back to the vet, but I suppose that it's just not an allergy. So I don't know what it can be. They seem to be pretty lost too, which worries me even more. They're very nice, but they just don't see as many cases as they would do in a bigger city, or like even as they had in Switzerland. What I wanted to do is try to call the vet I had in Switzerland just to see if they might have some other ideas of what it could be. And I'm also gonna try to take another appointment to a vet in a bigger city around here. I don't know yet, but we have to try something else because the fact that it doesn't get better just worries me more and more. So yeah, it's been a bit complicated with doggies lately. I think the last thing with the dogs that hasn't been going very well are the paws of Nana. Like for her, I'm pretty sure it's an allergy, but she had like in between the harder part of their paws, like the skin that is a bit thinner, got really inflamed. It's not really great to go and have long hikes, obviously, because if she's hurt, then it's just there's no point in doing this. So yeah, and as Yoann is often away, then when he's here, that's okay, I just leave her with him and go only with lineup if he's okay. But if we're just the three of us, then I have a harder time and just leaving her alone at home, We're just always sticking the three together, so we're just going out a little bit less or closer from home, and yeah, that's what life is, because they're getting older, obviously, for the pain of my heart, but yeah. So yeah, I think that's what life has looked like lately. I think I've covered everything. I just wish you could taste them. Oh. This has nothing to do with the blueberries you buy from the store. They're much smaller, usually. But they taste incredible. That's just so good. That's such a blessing. Don't have enough yet, but we're getting closer. Okay, I think hopefully we'll have enough for tonight's dessert. I hope. Let me show you. Can you see? I don't know. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little picking berries adventure. Even though it was a much simpler video this week. At least on my side, it was very fun to do, very relaxing to be up there picking berries with you. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, was happy also to give you some updates because I feel like I've been going under the radar these last weeks with this house thing and how life had been going. So just wanted to connect a bit more with you. And yeah, it was a very good excuse to be out in the mountains for today. But now I guess it's time to go home. Go back to Daddy. Yay. No, stop picking my berries. Stop it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I will see you in the next one. Sending you tons of love. Bye. Tu veux? Yay. Tu veux? Non, non. Ça, c'était un fail total. Ma chérie. Oui.